Cycles is your unicorn card. Everything has its right time. Honor the cycles of your body. Tune in to the moon's magic. And your art oracle card is Sonia Delune. So on Sonia's card, we have, don't live to 94 without founding an art movement. The practical should also be art. Does your geometry lack poetry? She's about, or was about, combining things from different disciplines, different areas, different schools of thought. She was very flexible, having to change careers. The geometry and poetry reference here strikes me as a message about being able to marry logic and love, mind and heart. Being able to take things that perhaps on the surface don't seem to be compatible or comparable, kind of like mixing apples and oranges together, finding a way for things to commingle, and finding art in that. Art is meant to disturb. And I get the sense here that that sort of thing is right up your alley. Because your archetype card that came out is the Jester, also known as the Trickster. We also have here performer, dancer, and stunt person. You're a broad, vivid personality who is able to not only attract a lot of attention, but make people glad that they paid that attention. Because there's always something interesting going on where you are. We have patterns here, and I feel that you're good at recognizing patterns. In fact, you're very shrewd at recognizing patterns. Philosophy suggests to me, with the combination of intensity and Jester, that you may come off at first, to some, to be less than what you actually are. Not saying that they look down on you, but saying that when they see the beautiful picture of you, they're missing so much detail. They may not know, be able to appreciate, or be able to see or understand how freaking smart you are and how intentional you can be with that brilliance. Cinema here, generally cinema indicates that taking in film is a great way to nurture your muse. But here I think that it suggests that you have a flair for the theatric. Ralph Waldo Emerson says, "Our love of the real draws us to permanence, but health of body consists in circulation, in sanity of mind, in variety or facility of association." Variety or facility of association. Being able to look at a grand tableau, see all of the elements in it, all of the patterns in it, still bringing that into a cohesive whole is one of your talents. But you're able to bring that intensity, that detail, that richness to whatever you do, and still have this cohesive, understandable, accessible surface meaning that becomes richer and richer and richer the more you look into it, the more it's reflected upon. The different angles reveal different sides, different worlds. A change in perspective will be able to find newness there, not only in your art, But your mind is flexible enough that you are able to do that yourself with your own perspective. That's why you're able to see patterns so well. We have art in order not to die of the truth. Art is the big solace. Art is the thing that puts us back in touch with our soul, with our spirit. What core elements tether us to existence? Nietzsche also says the essence of all beautiful art, of all great art, is gratitude. Strokes of the brush carry a message, whether you will it or not. The stroke is just like the artist at the time he makes it. All the certainties, all the uncertainties, all the bigness of his spirit, and all the littleness is in it. The eye must be alert, must see the influence of one thing on another and bring all things into relation. Context. The influence of one thing on another. Being able to properly place the influence of one thing on another. Being able to see things contextually. Understand their relationship to one another. See the patterns that are formed. See the philosophy that's going on behind the scenes. And present that. Because it may be that the deep necessity of art is the examination of self-deception. Art provokes. And where is that card? It is also meant to disturb. And part of that disturbance would be the examination of self-deception. Art can be a vehicle to bring us to new awareness. Art can be a vehicle to guide us to truths that we might otherwise avoid, miss, or deny. The purpose of art is to lay bare the questions that have been concealed by the answers. Again, this is speaking about context. It's speaking about what is on the surface and what lies beneath. Andy Warhol says every song has a memory. Every song has the ability to make or break your heart. The fact that this card came out, as well as we have the performer on our archetype card here. We have the sense of theater, the grand guignol, maybe, with the intensity. I get the feeling that you may be a musician, or that you may dabble in music. I think that you're probably a musician who breaks new ground, and sometimes people aren't ready for it. I like to be the right thing in the wrong place, and the wrong thing in the right place. It's worth it because something interesting always happens. Andy Warhol. And everyone could be seeing at different levels if it weren't for glasses. Also, Andy. You do see at those different levels. The way that you're able to see, I feel like people can look at you and they'll see the image in a stereogram immediately. Other people look at you and they can't make out that image. The thing about the image in the stereogram that is you, though, it's not just one image there. There's many different images, many different facets. So it really depends on who's looking at you as to what image they're going to find. Which actually makes you kind of like a Rorschach. If the doors of perception were cleansed, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. William Blake. You have those eyes to see the infinite. You have the ability to translate the infinite in such a way that a person can actually feel they are touching it, that they are part of it, which of course we all are, but we're far removed from that feeling by many, many things in the structure of our world. You have the ability to help people not die of the truth. The thing that I feel maybe you need to work on a little bit is doing the same thing for yourself. We have get cozy. You got to be comfortable. You got to be in a place where you feel safe, where you feel secure, where you feel free, where you are able to keep a nice, smooth equilibrium. So you have a tabula rasa, a fresh canvas. Keeping your energy clear is like cleansing the perception lens. And taking care of yourself is the same thing, because you're the lens through which a lot of people have access to things that they would not otherwise be able to access. You're the lens that is able to see things that can save us. And when I say save, I mean in that soul way. You know, like the song, the DJ saved my life tonight. Like that. Where you're just so down, and a word or a phrase or an image or a song is the thing that saves you, is the thing that tethers you. And what a remarkable talent that is. What a remarkable gift. But also, it can feel like a responsibility sometimes, can it? Like a heavy responsibility. And that's why it's really, really important for you to take care of yourself. To make sure that you get rest and adequate nutrition, and you're not around a bunch of people that bring you down all the time, but people who uplift you and inspire you and keep your eyes open and nice and bright. Ask your guides. So if you're the spiritual sort and you're in touch with your spiritual guidance, then you already know what this means. Or if you are not into spirituality per se, then you can certainly think of your guides as being every artist, every musician, every writer, every performer, every comedian, every dancer that you have looked up to, admired, because they most certainly are your guides as well. And you can always ask yourself, what would this person that I admire do in this situation? What would they see in this work? Or what would they look for? Bibliomancy, grabbing a book at random, flipping it open, and reading the first sentence that your eye hits. And you can get some pretty interesting information that way sometimes. Some neat little insights. Finally, we have use your illusion. The way that we've sort of carved out this little place of saying out loud that what you do brings truth to people that they might not otherwise be able to see. The times where the truth has been hidden from you, you can take those and use them as grist for the mill. Anne Magnus and the actress had a band called Bongwater, and one of their songs is "Talent is a Vampire." One of the lines from it is, "That which doesn't kill, more grist for the mill." Nietzsche said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. This card to me says, what doesn't kill you makes great material. The things that you've gone through that have been difficult and painful, where you felt maybe the wool was pulled over your eyes, or you didn't see things from the perspective that would have been the best for you at the time. Instead of letting those things be a hair shirt or an albatross hanging around your neck, you can use them in your work. Transmute them that way. That's basically what transmutation is. People talk about transmuting energies. That's what it is. You take something that is terrible and shitty and you alchemize it into something that is good and positive and beautiful. I think that's what I have. But we didn't really touch on cycles that much. So I just want to bring that out here and put it next to use your illusion. I don't know what that, I think that's a little piece of incense ash there. There's butterflies here and the moon behind the unicorn and purple and a little bit of indigo. So this makes me think of the crown chakra and the third eye chakra and transformation and the illumination of secrets, because there's a light side of this moon and then there's a dark side, and we can see both of those. I mean, there's a whole side, of course, behind we can't see, but it's a piece of paper, so, okay. Anyway. And, of course, the unicorn in the center of it. This unicorn looks a little bit sad. This unicorn's third eye chakra and crown chakra are opening up, and the unicorn's seeing a lot of stuff that it didn't see before. Hence the butterflies and the transformation. Because once we see things in a new light, we're forever transformed. That's really a beautiful thing. Because now you have this much more in your bag of tricks. Trickster, Jester. You're probably a very funny person, by the way. And adventurous, because, you know, stunt person is on that archetype card. This is just more stuff to inform your work. Use your illusion. Whatever it is that's been unveiled that has made you feel like this unicorn looks, it is going to be the compost that nourishes the soil for the spring that is just around the corner. I really get a sense from this reading that your personality is far too vivid to have a wet blanket thrown over it. This too shall pass. And then, boy, oh boy, are you going to have some art to show for it. Or music. Well, music's art, so you get me. All right, well, I hope this was helpful in some way and was resonant, made you say, hey, that sounds like me. Okay. Love and light. Take care.